guys, tonight I'm going to do a facts video about cats. This was requested by Andromeda. I hope you enjoy and I hope it helps you get some sleep. Unlike dogs, cats do not have a sweet tooth. Scientists believe this is due to a mutation in a key taste receptor. When a cat chases its prey, it keeps its head level. Dogs and humans pop their heads up and down. The technical term for a cat's hairball is a bezoar. A group of cats is called a clouder. A cat can't climb head first down a tree because every claw on a cat's paw points the same way. To get down from a tree, a cat must back down. Cats make about 100 different sounds. Dogs make only about 10. Every year, nearly 4 million cats are eaten in Asia. There are more than 500 million domestic cats in the world, with approximately 40 recognized breeds. While it is commonly thought that the ancient Egyptians were the first to domesticate cats, the oldest known pet cat was recently found in a 9,500-year-old grave on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. This grave predates early Egyptian art depicting cats by 4,000 years or more. During the time of the Spanish Inquisition, Pope Innocent VIII condemned cats as evil, and thousands of cats were burned. Unfortunately, the widespread killing of cats led to an explosion of the rat population, which exacerbated the effects of the Black Death. During the Middle Ages, cats were associated with witchcraft, and on St. John's Day, people all over Europe would stuff them into sacks and toss the cats into bonfires. On holy days, people celebrated by tossing cats from church towers. God, some of these facts are horrible. The first cat in space was a French cat named Félicette, aka Astrocat. In 1963, France blasted the cat into outer space. Electrodes implanted in her brain sent neurological signals back to Earth. She survived the trip. Approximately 40,000 people are bitten by cats in the US annually. Cats are North America's most popular pets. There are 73 million cats compared to 63 million dogs. Over 30% of households in North America own a cat. A cat's hearing is better than a dog's, and a cat can hear high frequency sounds up to 2 octaves higher than a human. A cat can travel at a top speed of approximately 31 miles per hour over a short distance. A cat rubs against people not only to be affectionate, but also to mark out its territory with some scent glands around its face. The tail area and paws also carry the cat's scent. Researchers are unsure exactly how a cat purrs. Most veterinarians believe that a cat purrs by vibrating vocal folds deep in the throat. To do this, a muscle in the larynx opens and closes the air passage about 25 times per second. When a family cat died in ancient Egypt, family members would mourn by shaving off their eyebrows. They also held funerals during which they drank wine and beat their breasts. The cat was embalmed with a sculpted wooden mask, and the tiny mummy was placed in the family tomb or in a pet cemetery with tiny mummies of mice. In 1888, more than 300,000 mummified cats were found in Egyptian cemetery. They were stripped of their wrappings and carted off to be used by farmers in England and the US for fertilizer. Most cats give birth to a litter of between 1 and 9 kittens. The largest known litter ever produced was 19 kittens, of which 15 survived. Smuggling a cat out of ancient Egypt was punishable by death. Venetian traders eventually succeeded in smuggling felines, which they sold to rich people in Athens and other important cities. The biggest wildcat today is the Siberian tiger. It can be more than 12 feet long, about the size of a small car, and weigh up to 700 pounds. A cat's brain is biologically more similar to a human brain than it is to a dog's. Both humans and cats have identical regions in their brains that are responsible for emotions. Many Egyptians worshipped the goddess Bast, who had a woman's body and a cat's head. While many parts of Europe and North America consider the black cat a sign of bad luck, in Britain and Australia black cats are considered lucky. The most popular pedigreed cat is the Persian cat, followed by the Maine Coon cat and the Siamese cat. Some cats have survived falls of over 65 feet, due largely to their righting reflex. The eyes and balance organs in the inner ear tell it where it is in space, so the cat can land on its feet. Even a cat without a tail has this ability. Some cats, or some Siamese cats, appear cross-eyed because the nerves from the left side of the brain go mostly to the right eye, and vice versa. This causes some double vision, which the cat tries to correct by crossing its eyes. A cat can jump up to 5 times its own height in a single bound. Cats hate the water because their fur does not insulate well when it's wet. The Turkish fan, however, is one cat that likes swimming. Bred in Central Asia, its coat has a unique texture that makes it water resistant. The first commercially cloned pet was a cat named Little Nicky. He cost his owner $50,000, making him one of the most expensive cats ever. A cat usually has about 12 whiskers on each side of its face. A cat's eyesight is both better and worse than humans. It is better because cats can see in much more dimmer light, and they have a wider peripheral view. It's worse because they don't see colour as well as humans do. Scientists believe that grass appears red to cats. Perhaps the most famous comic cat is the Cheshire Cat in Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. With the ability to disappear, this mysterious character embodies the magic and sorcery historically associated with cats. On average, cats spend 2/3 of every day sleeping. That means a 9-year-old cat has been awake for only 3 years of its life. that's actually really interesting because my cat is 9, almost 10. She does sleep a lot. In the original Italian version of Cinderella, the benevolent fairy godmother figure was a cat. The little tufts of hair in a cat's ear that help keep dirt out, direct sounds into the ear, and insulate the ears are called ear furnishings. The ability of a cat to find its way home is called PSI travelling. Experts think cats either use the angle of the sunlight to find their way, or that cats have magnetized cells in their brain that act as compasses. Isaac Newton invented the cat flap. Newton was experimenting in a pitch-black room. Spithead, one of his cats, kept opening the door and wrecking his experiment. The cat flap kept both Newton and Spithead happy. The world's rarest coffee, Kopi Luwak, comes from Indonesia, where a wild cat known as the Luwak lives. The cat eats coffee berries and the coffee beans pass through the stomach. The beans are harvested from the cat's dung heaps, then cleaned and roasted. Kopi Luwak sells for about $500 for a 450-gram bag. A cat's jaw can't move sideways, so a cat can't chew large chunks of food. A cat almost never meows at another cat, mostly just humans. Cats typically will spit, purr, and hiss at other cats. Female cats tend to be right-pawed, while male cats are more often left-pawed. Interestingly, while 90% of humans are right-handed, the remaining 10% of lefties also tend to be male. That's interesting. I didn't know cats had a preferred paw. I must watch my cat. A cat's back is extremely flexible because it has up to 53 loosely fitting vertebrae. Humans only have 34. Two members of the cat family are distinct from all others, the clouded leopard and the cheetah. The clouded leopard does not roar like other big cats, nor does it groom or rest like small cats. The cheetah is unique because it is a running cat. All others are leaping cats. They are leaping cats because they slowly stalk their prey and then leap on it. In Japan, cats are thought to have the power to turn into super spirits when they die. This may be because, according to the Buddhist religion, the body of a cat is the temporary resting place of very spiritual people. Most cats had short hair until about 100 years ago, when it became fashionable to own cats and experiment with breeding. One reason that kittens sleep so much is because a growth hormone is released only during sleep. The heaviest cat on record is Himi, a tabby from Queensland, Australia. He weighed nearly 47 pounds and he died at the age of 10. The oldest cat on record was Creme Puff from Austin, Texas, who lived from 1967 to 2005, 3 days after her 38th birthday. A cat typically can live up to 20 years, which is equivalent to about 96 human years. Apparently, 1/3 of cat owners think their pets are able to read their minds. Mauser, who caught nearly 30,000 mice in her lifetime. The first cat show was organised in 1871 in London. Cat shows later became a worldwide craze. The normal body temperature of a cat is between 100.5 and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. A cat is sick if its temperature goes below 100 or above 103. A cat has 230 bones in its body. A human has 206. A cat has no collarbone, so it can fit through any opening the size of its head. A cat's nose pad is ridged with a unique pattern, just like the fingerprint of a human. If they have ample water, cats can tolerate temperatures up to 133 degrees Fahrenheit. Foods that should not be given to cats include onions, garlic, green tomatoes, raw potatoes, chocolate, grapes and raisins. Though milk is not toxic, it can cause an upset stomach and gas. Tylenol and aspirin are extremely toxic to cats, as are many common houseplants. Feeding cats dog food or canned tuna that's for human consumption could cause malnutrition. A cat's heart beats nearly twice as fast as a human heart, at 110 to 140 beats per minute. In just 7 years, a single pair of cats and their offspring could produce a staggering total of 420,000 kittens. Cats spend nearly 1/3 of their waking hours cleaning themselves. Grown cats have 30 teeth. Kittens have about 26 temporary teeth, which they lose when they were about 6 months old. Cats don't have sweat glands over their bodies like humans do. Instead, they sweat only through their paws. A cat called Dusty has the known record for the most kittens. She had more than 420 kittens in her lifetime. Cats are extremely sensitive to vibrations. Cats are said to detect earthquake tremors 10 or 15 minutes before humans can. A female cat is called a queen or a molly. The oldest cat to give birth was Kitty, who at the age of 30 gave birth to 2 kittens. During her life, she gave birth to 218 kittens. The most travelled cat is Hamlet, who escaped from his carrier while on a flight. He hid for 7 weeks behind a panel on the airplane. By the time he was discovered, he had travelled nearly 373,000 miles. In Holland's embassy in Moscow, Russia, the staff noticed that the 2 Siamese cats kept meowing and clawing at the walls of the building. Their owners finally investigated, thinking they would find mice. Instead, they discovered microphones hidden by Russian spies. The cats heard the microphones when they turned on. The cat who holds the record for the longest non-fatal fall is Andy. He fell from the 16th floor of an apartment building and survived. The richest cat is Blackie, who was left £15 million by his owner, Ben Ray. cats or the claws on the cat's back paws aren't as sharp as the claws on the front paws because the claws at the back don't retract and consequently become worn. The most expensive cat was an Asian leopard cat, domestic short-hair hybrid named Zeus. Zeus, who is 90% Asian leopard cat and 10% domestic short-hair, has an asking price of £100,000. So that's it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed and I hope it helps you get some sleep. Sweet dreams.